Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another video. So yeah, in this video I'm just going to go through all of the movies that I've picked up in September 2023. So yeah, let's just get into it. So this month has definitely been dominated by special editions and boutique releases. I've actually only got one sort of regular bog standard Blu-ray, so I'll start with that first, and it is See No Evil, Hear No Evil. This is the classic 1989 comedy starring Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor. They play a blind man and a deaf man who are framed for murder, and they have to go on the run and find out who committed the murder and solve the case themselves. And yeah, this is a Spanish Blu-ray. I've had the DVD for the longest time, and I decided I just wanted to upgrade it, and this was sort of the only way to get it on Blu-ray. So I think I got this from Amazon Spain. But yeah, this is just such a fun movie. It's probably my second favourite, starring these two. My first favourite being Stir Crazy, but this is a close second for sure. So yeah, that is See No Evil, Hear No Evil. Right, so I picked up quite a lot of like Hong Kong action comedy type movies. So we'll go with the first one, and that is The Last Blood. This is also known as Hard Boiled 2 in some countries. And yeah, this was just such a fun action movie. It's basically cops versus terrorists, but it has everything you could want in an action movie. It's over the top, it's crazy, it's got, plenty of action, stunts, guns, fighting, all that good stuff. And it's only about 90 minutes long, so it's just a real fun, easy movie to get through. And if you like action movies, definitely check it out, because yeah, it was just a lot of fun. And that is The Last Blood. Next up, we have The Postman Fights Back. This is an early film starring a very young Chow Yun-fat. It's also directed by Ronnie Yu, who would go on to direct Bride of Chucky and Freddy vs. Jason. And this movie is like about this group of people who have to deliver this cargo. They have to traverse through the wilderness to get to this place where they have to deliver this cargo. And, they have obstacles and things like that along the way. I was a little bit let down by this film. I found it a bit slow. Wasn't as much action in it as I was hoping for, but the finale definitely makes up for it. But on the whole, it was just okay for me, this movie. But yeah, that is The Postman Fights Back. Next up, we have The Shaolin Plot. This is a release from Eureka. I got this in a sale. And this is about this lord who wants to obtain all of these like manuals so he can learn all these various forms of martial arts and become basically the most powerful ruler in the land. And then you have the protagonists who are out to stop him. And yeah, I really liked this movie. It was just a great, like, classic old school 1970s kung fu martial arts movie. Has a very sort of Bruce Lee kind of vibe to it. Plenty of stunts, fighting. It's quite violent in places, but yeah, I really enjoyed this one. So that is The Shaolin Plot. Next up, we have She Shoots Straight, another release from Eureka. And this is another sort of cops versus terrorists movie. But in this one, it's mostly female cast, female police officers. And yeah, this was such a good movie. It was so fun. The action and the stunts and yeah, just everything about it was great. Again, only about 90 minutes long, just a very quick, fast-paced action movie. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. So that is She Shoots Straight. Next up, we have Taxi Hunter. Again, this is another release from 88 Films. And yeah, this was quite a movie. This was basically about this guy. The main character is kind of like this regular guy, has a regular job, a regular life. And his wife is pregnant with their child, but at the beginning of the movie, she inadvertently gets killed by this taxi driver when he refuses to take them to the hospital when she goes into labor. And he basically spirals out of control and decides to take revenge against all taxi drivers. And it just kind of goes from there. It's a really wacky premise. But what was interesting about this movie is that all of the taxi driver characters in this movie are horrible. They're horrible people. So you kind of think like this guy will turn into the bad guy because of what he's doing, but all of the taxi drivers get their just desserts in this movie because they're all just horrible people. So yeah, that was kind of an interesting thing. Like, he's basically the hero of the movie, even though what he's doing is wrong. It's kind of got like a bit of a Death Wish kind of vibe to it, but yeah, it's definitely out there. But I had a lot of fun with it. That is Taxi Hunter. Next up, we have another release from 88 Films, and we have Double Impact, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme. And yeah, this is the one where he plays two different characters who basically have to team up to fight the bad guys. Now, this is a movie I remember seeing many years ago, and I was never really into it. I always kind of never really saw the fuss with it, because I know this is quite a popular Van Damme movie. But on a rewatch, yeah, I really enjoyed it this time. It's just so fun. Van Damme looks like he's having so much fun playing these two different characters. There's some great stunts, great fight scenes, great action, great villains as well. And yeah, this was just so great on a rewatch. And it's one of those like limited edition ones. I think I'm number 913 out of 3,000. But yeah, really glad to finally have this movie in the collection, because I know we've been after a Blu-ray release of this one for a while. But yeah, really enjoyed this one on a rewatch. That is Double Impact. Next up, we have a box set release from 88 Films, and we have Twin Dragons. So yeah, I did an unboxing for this release, so if you want to check that video out, I'll leave a link in the description below. But yeah, this is a fantastic release from 88 Films, lovely box set, and the movie, well, I just had a blast with it. Again, it's very similar to Double Impact. Jackie Chan plays two characters who basically just have to team up and fight the bad guys. But I had such a blast with this movie. The finale in particular, which takes place in this car factory, is just incredible. Oh my God, it was just so fun. The action was crazy. And the cast is really good. Obviously, you got Jackie Chan, but the two Jackie Chan characters have these two girlfriends. One of them's played by Maggie Cheung. And yeah, just great chemistry between all of the characters. And yeah, just a real charming, fun action movie from Jackie Chan. And I'm surprised it took me this long to watch it, but yeah, great movie, Twin Dragons. And then lastly, from 88 Films, we have the Fight Back to School trilogy. So yeah, this is a trilogy of movies starring Stephen Chow, and he plays this police officer, and in the first movie, he basically has to go undercover in this high school because students have been seen carrying guns, and he needs to go undercover and find out where these guns are coming from. It's basically like the Hong Kong version of 21 Jump Street. The first movie, it was pretty enjoyable. The other two, they had similar plots, but still different at the same time. I didn't really enjoy those two as much. So on the whole, I was a little bit let down by this trilogy. It definitely leaned more into the comedy side than the action, but the first movie was still pretty fun. But yeah, that is the Fight Back to School trilogy. Right, so on to some 4Ks now, and the first one, I actually picked this up yesterday. I went down to Birmingham with Andy from Forgotten World of Movies, and we went to the Vault, which is like this big, massive HMV in Birmingham. And this was my only pickup from the day, but it is The Exorcist on 4K. So yeah, I don't need to say too much about the movie. It's just, you know, classic horror film, isn't it? But yeah, I never owned this movie on Blu-ray. My most up-to-date copy was the DVD. And I know I've heard some mixed things about the transfer with this one, but I just thought I may as well just get the 4K. I've never owned it on Blu-ray, and it does come with the Blu-rays. You get both cuts of the movie, and yeah, looking forward to rewatching it. So that is The Exorcist on 4K. Next 4K we have is Batman Mask of the Phantasm. Now again, I did an unboxing for this one, so if you want to check that video out, I'll leave a link in the description below. But yeah, I pretty much said all I needed to say about this movie in that video. But yeah, just a great movie, one of my favourite Batman movies. It's probably better than most of the live action films for me. And yeah, just a really nice release, nice steelbook inside. But yeah, that is Batman Mask of the Phantasm. Next 4K we have is Enter the Dragon. Yeah, the classic martial arts film starring Bruce Lee. This is the nice Warner Brothers release, which comes with the red steelbook inside. Yeah, I've not actually watched this film on 4K yet. I rewatched the movie quite recently when I bought the Arrow Bruce Lee box set. So I haven't really been in the mood to watch the movie again. But yeah, it's just a classic, and I've heard great things about the 4K. And yeah, just a really nice release from Warner Brothers. So yeah, that is Enter the Dragon. Next 4K we have is a new release from Arrow Video, and it is Carlitos Way. And this is the Arrow exclusive box set version. Yeah, this movie is just one of my favourites. Got Al Pacino, in the starring role. You've got Brian De Palma directing. It's probably my favourite Brian De Palma film. It's probably in my top 5 Al Pacino films. And yeah, it's just a fantastic movie. I can't really say enough about it. If you haven't seen it, I would definitely recommend it. But yeah, lovely release from Arrow Video. And that is Carlitos Way. And then the last pickup we have for this month is one that I know a lot of people have picked up, and it is the Psycho 4K collection from Arrow Video. Yeah, as soon as Arrow announced this, I knew I had to get it. I'm a huge fan of the first Psycho. The second one is incredible as well. It's one of those great underrated horror sequels that has no right to be as good as it is. The third and fourth one, I always remember not really being that keen on them. And after rewatching them, I do kind of feel the same about 4, but 3, I had such a good time revisiting 3. It's got some unique direction from Anthony Perkins, and the last 10 minutes of this film is really, really good. But yeah, on the whole, just a fantastic collection. If you haven't seen them, definitely check them out. All of the movies, all 4 of them are definitely worth checking out. But the first 2 in particular are just fantastic films. But yeah, that is the Psycho 4K collection from Arrow Video. So there you go, guys. Those are all of my pickups for September 2023. Let me know in the comments below if you've picked up any of these releases. Have you seen any of these movies? What do you think of them? What have you picked up this month? I would love to hear your thoughts. So thanks again for watching, guys, and I will see you all again on the next one. So take care, guys.